now because I don't think that people caught that for a second. Okay. Um, normally, Ben, Hannah, I have to apologize to you. Normally, super producer Adam's pulling the strings behind the curtain over here. Today, I left my computer at a meeting. So now I am hosting and producing right now, and I'm doing a poor job of both. So I apologize to everyone out there. I didn't hit the button. Okay. I relocated the button. I was not with it. People are tuning in like, has anyone gone on the show yet? Is anything happening in the internet? Is the internet broken? I am so sorry to all of you out there who want to relocate all your profits, and I haven't even told you how yet. I'm sorry. So let's start over here for a minute, okay? Get in there. First of all, we're going to take this from the top, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Oh my gosh. So
I love it.
This right now. If you're joining us right now, get in the comments. I want to know if you think I'm a complete disaster right now. If you have any other thoughts, if you have words of encouragement. You know what? This is a charitable show. Can you give me some words of encouragement right now, please? That's what I need right now. Also, I want to hear from you if your company has gotten involved with Relocate the Profit, or if you do anything else charitable. I want to know, what is the opportunity for impact that we can make together as we come together as an industry? People are tuning in now. Yes, thank you. Jay Hall's in the house. Louise, thank you. Yes, she's like, go jump off a cliff, Ben. Yes, thank you, Louise. I appreciate you. Quite kind and charitable. People are tuning in. This is great. Now, hit that like button. Let us know you're out there. Cody Davis says you got it, Ben. Thank you. It's like riding a bike for the first time. I'm going to probably skin my knee. This is great. Okay, so let's back up here. We got people checking in. Miriam's checking in. Inigo's checking in. Favorite Ben's and my favorite Hannah. That's amazing. Chappie, don't sweat the small stuff. You know you're the. Thank you, Chappie. I appreciate you. I love y'all so much. This is great. All right, so give us a rundown. What is Relocate the Profit, Ben?
So Relocate the Profit is an initiative that was started by Hannah, Miriam, and myself from a conversation that we had probably 18 months ago. Where quite simply, I suppose it's an initiative that brings a group of companies together to raise money for one common cause. So it's really a group of companies coming together to make an impact in the wider world, with a view to sort of improving the culture within our industry.
What was the inspiration for that? What was the aha moment? Was there alcohol involved? How did that happen? What was that like? We got to do this.
Yeah, it was. Yes, there was alcohol involved. So it started really, I think, from, and Miriam's already put me under the pressure of telling me that I tell the story well. So Miriam and I were at the FEM Awards in London, November 21, and working for separate companies, both UK companies at the time, and we both won awards, which was very pleasing. But we were sort of chatting and stuff, and we were having some pictures done and stuff like this. And we're like, hey, hold on a minute, we shouldn't be sort of smiling with our awards next to each other. We're supposed to be in competition. Let's sort of look all grumpy and stuff like this. And we posted a picture and stuff of it, sort of like, remembering that your competition, etc., etc. And we were like, hi, it's funny, really. We got a good response from it. We were chatting about work, very honest, open chat about it. Well, actually, it's kind of cool to have a conversation with someone who you're essentially in competition with and be like, actually, this is tough. Actually, we didn't do this so good, which we were like, that's not the most common of conversations to have sometimes. So, okay, good. Try to how can we keep this momentum rolling? What can we do? Miriam said she was already chatting to Hannah about some other stuff, some charity stuff they'd already been in touch with. And we said, look, let's jump on a call. Miriam said, I'll introduce you to Hannah. We can all start to chat, etc., etc., etc. And then for, I guess it was 6 months, we were trying to pull this idea together. We want to do two things. We want to enhance this culture, this good culture in the industry. We were we can't just be hey, let's all have a good culture. We need a vehicle, right, to sort of try and propel it forward. Then we're well, what if every company that we just all did the same thing? Whether you're 2 people 102 people, everyone's like on an exact level. We can all do the same thing, all put our pennies and pounds into like one pot, and it all goes into one direction.
Yeah.
And that was really where it started. And we were like, at least 3 of us are doing it. So I guess like 4 would be even better. 5 would be even better than that. And it's sort of like it grew from there, I guess.
Hannah, when did this really kind of take off in your mind? When were you like, okay, this is more than just an impulse coming out of an award show, but really this actually has legs?
I would say, I mean, for me, as Ben said, Miriam and I have been in touch before that already, and we were already talking about like doing something together with regards to doing something in charity before. I think I only understood on what we got on the road together when the first people really joined. The feeling that it's going to be something good I actually had in the very first call I had together with Miriam and Ben, because us 3, as Ben said, we have been immediately very open to everything. We have always been very transparent. So it did never feel as competitors, but more as, going into the right direction and changing something in our bubble. And we, of course, wanted everything to start off big, but like really understanding how hard it would hit, or it could hit, let's say it like that. I think I had at the Euro last year, when I understood on how many people are interested and would really want to make a change together as a group. So, and then very quickly after the first people came on, I thought that's so cool. All of us are pulling the same strings. So what Ben said earlier, that it's all of us. It's not us 3 only, but it's all of us doing that great stuff and moving forward with things.
How did that feel when you realized, like, okay, this is something everyone feels passionately about?
Pure amazement, I would say, for me at least. It was really like just feeling good, doing something good, and being able to talk to competitors in the end so openly and freely, and understanding that so many more people have the same mindset that we had. That was, and on top, very inspiring, actually. People having great ideas on how to move forward, ideas on what we could do. So it was just, for me, really, I'm still very amazed about it.
I'm loving this story. I want to get into the details here. Get in the comments. If you're watching this right now, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. And I want you to leave one question in the comments. If you're watching this right now, Jana, Adrian, Louise, Miriam, we got Tyler checking in, HQ. Yeah, what's up, Tyler, down the hall here? Yes, Marcy checking in. Ben, it's all good. Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate that. I want you to get in the comments. I want to leave one question here for Hannah, for Ben. We're going to get some details here. So you came together, you said, hey, we got this crazy idea. And then you started seeing, oh yeah, everybody gets it. We all want to do this. So now you have everybody, you have a bunch of people. How many people are you up to right now as far as that are involved in this initiative?
31 members.
31 members. Are this companies or individuals?
Companies. So it's an interesting thing. So I guess it's individuals, but it's the company paying the bill, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So in some cases it's the people are the company. But 31 to date.
Okay. All right. You know what? And I challenged the audience to come up with a question, and they never let me down. Okay. They come up with a question. Get in the comments right now. I want to hear what your questions are here. Miriam's got a question. Ben Cross. See, this is not how it works. You don't ask me the question. We ask the people on the show the questions, Miriam. Miriam doesn't like to follow rules. That's the thing about Miriam, okay? Miriam says, Ben Cross, when are you signing the membership forms? Okay, fine, Miriam, be that way. How do I become a member, and what does it entail?
So easy. Easiest thing you'll ever do. So it's literally a form. So there's a small set of Relocate the Profit rules that we just ask people to agree to. Then you simply sign, you put your email address so that you can be on the emails and come to the meetings, phone number if you want to come into the WhatsApp group, send it back, photo, description of why you're in it, description of your business, goes live onto the website, and it's all done in 10 minutes.
Okay, so what are the requirements? If So I'm interested. You know, we're very philanthropic. You know, we like to give back. You know, we're pretty proud of what we do here on the show and at Glomo. So so we're in. Let's say we're in. We're in. Okay.
Member
So
number 32.
now we're number 32. Okay. So and look, and Miriam's taking all the credit, I feel like, for this too. Miriam's like, oops, sign another one. Here we go.
You don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, right. So okay, so now what is my commitment now?
So your commitment would be for every invoice that you raise, you'll pledge to give, in your case, I guess, $1 to the charity that we all raise money for.
Okay, so $1 out of every invoice that we do, we're gonna send to Relocate the Profit. Okay, so do people give more than $1 per invoice?
They can. I'll just quickly interrupt. What is most important, though, is that we do not advertise how much we raise ourselves. So
we're not allowed to say that. Okay.
It's a trust thing. So as we said earlier, it's basically about trust and transparency in the end. And it's, as Ben said, it's not about how much you do as a company, because we have bigger companies, we have smaller companies, and we do not want to feel people bad in just sending a certain amount of invoices. Of course, you're always welcome to donate more if you want to. That's out of question, but it's not, we do not want to make a competition out of it.
Okay. So I won't tell you how much I'm going to give you, but you can send the form to Jana. Ben Cross, the answer. No, you're supposed to put questions in the comments here, Jana. She says the answer is send the form to Jana and she'll get it taken care of. All right. So
I love it already.
Yes. Well, that's why we work here, is because Jana makes it happen. Okay. So we're going to be a member. I can tell people that we're a member, right? I can brag about that.
Right? And it is on film now, so there's no way you can't be a member.
Yeah, because nothing we say on here is a lie ever. We never misrepresent anything on this show. Okay. All right. So okay, cool. So we'll join. We're in. So awesome. Now Jana's going to get the form. Can somebody put a link? Is there a link to the form that we can put in here? Maybe Miriam can do that or something. Is that possible or no?
I think Miriam could do that.
Miriam?
I think so.
We just turned it around on Miriam. See? See? There's all the answers.
I have no idea if she can or she can't.
Okay.
I trust her implicitly. Okay.
Well, that's a lot of trust here. So she's saying, Ben Jones, how does the donation part work? So do I can accrue that money. So let's just say for every invoice I do $1, and I can accrue that money.
Yeah.
Now, where do I send it?
So it's a very good question, Miriam. So what most people do is that rather, it's not going to be a case of, I raised an invoice, let me log on and quickly give someone $1. So what people will do normally is at the end of a month, count up the number of invoices that they've raised, go on to www.relocatetheprofit.org. You see a small button that says donate here, top left. You click on that, and what actually happens is that you give the money directly from you to the charity itself. So that's the charity that we're raising money for. So we don't actually touch the money ourselves. Again, comes back to a trust thing. It's always about every single dollar that you raise and that you donate goes directly to the charity. So it doesn't come through us. There's no fees on the payments or anything like that. It's all of the money going straight to the charity.
Okay, I like that. And Miriam put a link in there, relocatetheprofit.org. Yep, very good. Okay, so Jana, can you go check that out now? And then I would encourage everybody. I mean, Jason Hall's in here as well from USI Law. You know, I think we should get them involved here. Do you have what types of companies are involved with the Relocate the Profit?
Everything. So it's DSP. I'm gonna see how many I can remember off the top of my head. So it's DSPs, we've got cultural coaches, we've got foreign exchange, we've got recruitment, we've got languages, we've got immigration, I've got no household goods. We need household goods.
Yep. Movers are terrible. Just kidding. Just kidding.
What else have we got, Hannah? Have I missed anything?
No, I don't think so.
We've got our MCs.
Oh yeah,
RMCs.
of course we have RMCs as well.
Sorry, Miriam, don't kill me.
No, so we are really like mixed all over. So there is no line on who could join or not. Let's say it like that. And it's interesting to meet the people because they are from all the different fields relocation touches, which is pretty cool.
How many countries are represented, would you say?
12.
I was just going to say, Ben and I talked about it, and I was like, I'm going to mess up with the number of countries.
It's 12, and
Okay.
we get very excited when we get a new flag because
And you already have an American flag, right?
We do have yeah. Shout out to Carolina Expat US. She was our first US member. Our first of two, with you being the second.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, 12 countries, which is cool, really cool.
All right, so I want to talk about the cause, right? And we got people checking in here. Harry Hicks, what's up? Louise Neal, love it. Jana, Miriam, Patrick here checking in here. Jason, let's get USI Law on here, Jason. Let's do it. They're really going to do some huge things this year. This is great. We got people checking in from all over the place. Hit that like button here. I want to know, what is the cause that you support, though? Where does the money go?
Do you
Hannah,
want to
go ahead. Hannah, go ahead.
You know the charity.
So it's basically going to the Tanzanian Trust Fund at the moment, supporting basically a lot of things in Tanzania itself, which I think is pretty cool. I think Ben always likes to talk first about, especially girls are supported with their ways to school, with hygienic items, with beds in their schools, etc. So just to be safe, I was saying earlier to Ben Jones, that I actually like my chicken story best. So there are locals supported with educational topics on how to, for example, get to chickens and get a lot of chickens out of it, and being supportive or selling the eggs of the chickens or the chickens themselves. So it's about supporting the locals in being better educated, being safer, being growing in the end, and doing things for themselves and being able to take care of themselves.
Why was it important to support Tanzanians? Why did you feel like that was the right fit for y'all?
For this, I was just going to say, good question. It's basically, I did not pick it, I have to admit. We discussed about it at the start, but I can't remember why we picked Tanzania Trust Fund in the end. I have to admit. Do you remember?
I think that was the company I think that you and Miriam were talking about when you were sort of talking about doing something charitable before.
Exactly, but I can't remember why in the end or in the start. I remember that it was, so what Miriam and I was thinking of initially was supporting, due to we had talked about the International Women's Day initially, to support especially women back then. So I know that we talked about that back then, and because they have been supportive, we stayed with them, I think, in the end.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it's a great cause, and what they are doing is pretty cool, I would say. So I'm still pro that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it sounds great. And I wasn't, being critical at all. I was just curious if there was a, kind of a story behind it. And it sounds like, it was hooked into International Women's Day as well. And it was referred by Finders Keepers member as well. So that's great.
It's a really interesting thing, actually, Ben, because once you start looking at it and like where you can put your money, the options are endless. And I say this charity specifically, they're not even covering the whole of Tanzania. They work in the Babati region of Tanzania, which is a sort of a super concentrated area. But the work they do there is incredible. I mean, we could move around Tanzania for the next 10 years and still not have done everything. So it's super hard to pick. But I think the one thing that we've done, and we speak to the charity regularly. Lindsay there is super cool at giving us updates on where the money's going. She was on one of our meetings a couple of weeks ago. She'd just actually been to Tanzania. She's based in the UK, but had been out there, and sort of gave us this presentation about what they're doing, the work on the ground, like looking at the kids and all this sort of stuff. And it's incredible. The longer we've worked with them, the more sort of incredible the work they're doing looks. And it's cool, like, you know, once we started sort of raising, you know, actual money that could do something, you know, we start to learn, right, our money's gone towards this. You know, one of the things I go on about it all the time, but we helped to put these beds in these dormitories in this school. That meant that the girls can go to school on a Monday, learn, stay there Monday to Friday, and go home on a Friday afternoon, instead of doing like a 2.5 hour walking round trip to school every single day, which is like, it's mad. I have 2 daughters myself. That's like alien to me. That's not the world I live in, and not the world that anyone I know lives in. So I think to learn more about it, I think, and the longer we've I guess worked with them, the more inspiring it's all become. And it become, like, for me, it becomes the easiest bit to sell, I guess. Like, I always use the stat, I think there's nearly 100 million girls will never ever see a classroom in their life. That's from like 4 to 16 years old.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Yeah. That's like nearly 1.5 of the UK whole population. So it's mad. Yeah. So it's a really cool charity.
Let me ask you both, and I'm going to ask you kind of both to answer this. You know, in your opinion, Hannah, what's the future of Relocate the Profit? What would you like to see happen?
Spread the word, of course. Spread the word in the world that way. So I would love to have more members, of course, because I think it's a great cause. And see what we can do better together. So what we can, like, as a group, where we can reach to, who we can support on top of what we are already doing, and where we can get the greater cause of it.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. Ben, what do you see the future being for Relocate the Profit?
It's a good question, because I think it's easier to carve out an image of what the future is now than it was when we started it. I guess we had like no idea.
Why is that?
I think because at the start we were like, is anyone going to want to do this, or are we just 3 people that are like, we're going to do this thing, and in 6 months there's going to be no one else doing it. And I think, like, to get a year and a bit down the line and to have 30 of us, it's like, this is actually a thing now. And even now, I'd say, actually, Winston said it to me earlier, this is like tip of the iceberg. Like, we need to be aiming at £100,000. Like, there's nothing that would stop us getting to it. And I think, you know, we were chatting about what's the future of it, and we said the same thing when members join. We said the same thing on the meetings. The future of the initiative will be decided by the members. Like, it's never really wanted to be something where we're like driving this machine and you give us your money and we're going to put it over here. It's like, no, it's level playing field. That's the whole purpose of all of it. Let's keep that momentum going, and the future will be shaped by the members. We always say, if people have got ideas, if people want to talk about what they want to see, what they want to do and stuff, then that's what we do. You know, we're not experts in this field by any stretch. So I think Hannah said it earlier. I think the best way to describe the future of Relocate the Profit, it will be shaped by our members, but with the same spirit that it started with. You know, from the same feeling that the 3 of us had at the start. That needs to be the feeling when there's 300 of us.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that kind of a feeling, right? I mean, you started from 3, and you want to go to, and you're 32 now, and maybe 33. It looks like here, because it looks like the form's going to USI Law right now. Jason's on it, he says here. So, and you know, if Miriam's on Jason, you know, nobody gets away from Miriam. So, yeah, you're Jason. I'm sorry. That's it. You know, it's over now. And so how do you keep that same feel, though? I mean, as you get some more people involved, I mean, you know, agendas come into play, and sometimes politics and things like that. And I'm sure, you know, as you start looking at other charities and things you want to support, I mean, are you gonna vote on these things? I mean, do you have kind of these bylaws? Have you thought that far ahead, or is it really just about, you know, seeing how many people we can get on board?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think we're certainly at the point now where we've got a decent number of members where then there's going to need to be some structure to it. All right, so we'll try and meet as often as we can. In terms of where the money goes, for sure, that will be a decision that the group makes if people have got suggestions. And I think you're probably right. I think by voting on something like that is the fairest way to do it. I think that there's an element of the future of it that is still, I'd say, unknown. 33. Thank you, Jason. Miriam got the phone to him that quick.
Yeah, that's how quick Miriam moves. She's a closer over here. She's like, I can't be on the show. I have to go work the phones. Well, you guys, she's working the WhatsApp right now. I know it.
Yeah.
This is great. And by the way, if you want to join right now, Glomo's in. USI Law is in. Okay, so that's 2 members here. We can't let the Americans carry the day here, okay? Because you let us in, we get all pushy and all this kind of precious about stuff, and like you gotta we need some balance here, okay? So let's see the Europeans, let's see the South Americans come in here, and I think Asia's asleep, but you get the point, y'all. So join in here if you wanna join us today. Just kind of put something out there in the comments, that you're in. It sounds like it's a very modest donation, kind of requirement. You don't have to, it's not a big deal. It's not very public. You don't have to feel bad if it's a little bit. Of course, you can do more. I'm sure, but it sounds super accessible, and it's just about getting everybody to do a little bit. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we knew that when the 3 of us were in it, we were never going to change the world. Like that was never going to be a thing. And it was almost like the way that I suppose you grow it is not by 3 companies doing more and more stuff to raise the money. It's you just add companies to the pile. So it's like, look, this is the vehicle. The financial commitment is not going to change the future of your business, I would guess. And the higher we can stack it, the better. And I said and the culture that we are, I suppose, that we're growing within it is brilliant. And I say it becomes it's, you almost sometimes have to be reminded about the charity bit, because it becomes the people.
Yes, and I think you said we can't change the world, but we can change it in our bubble, and that's what we are doing.
Well, and I would also go on to say too, Hannah, I agree with you, Hannah, right? Because you can't change the world, but you are, though, right? I mean, because you're inspiring people to think about what role they play and can play. And if we all do a little, and we all convince someone else to do a little, then all of a sudden we turn around a few years later and we're like, holy crap, there's 100,000 pounds here, or there's whole villages of people, or generations of young girls, or whatever populations that have been uplifted, right? I mean, and that's kind of what's cool about global mobility, right? It's like the whole spirit of our industry is about giving people access to opportunity on a global basis, and I think that's one of the cool tie-ins, and I don't think you could have picked a better industry to appeal to, because everyone in this business has such a heart for others, and they're globally curious, and they want to help people.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like we found pretty quick, like the global reach of it is like, we're not. Miriam's based in the Netherlands, Hannah's in Germany, I'm in the UK. We've not just gone and got 10 members each from our own countries and our own little communities and stuff. It's spread, and it's this, and then Patty, who's one of our members, she's a cultural coach. She's like, hey, I'm in Australia. I was chatting to someone about the initiative. She wants to join. Can you speak to her? It's like, yeah, cool. And it's like, I think exactly what you say. The world is a big place, but I think within global mobility, it feels that bit tighter, because I think it all just joins up somehow, which is, it's part of the fun of it all.
This is we got some comments coming in here. Get in the comments, ask your questions. I want to know, what questions do you have for Ben or Hannah or Ben? Get in there. Miriam says, let's also focus on the community change we want to establish. People don't trust each other, don't learn from each other, and don't feel safe to be open and vulnerable. It can become much better. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've heard this a couple times here. I don't know if maybe it's different in Europe versus over here, but I see a lot of camaraderie in this industry. Is that changing, or what do you think fuels that dynamic?
I think it's changing. I think it's changing since a couple of years already, slowly but steadily. I would say. I'm in business way too many years already. So I'm in business actually since 18 years, and it has been different. So I'm very happy that it's changing. I think also it's depending on the country. Yes, it's depending on where you are located and who you're talking about. So in Germany, we have actually, or I have some very good friends by now in industry as well who are direct competitors, who are my friends, who I'm talking very open and direct and transparent to. But it has not always been like that, and it has not always been like that, meaning in like, let's say 5 years ago. I think also there the last 3-4 years with all this COVID things going on did make a big change of changing or starting to change, but I think it's talking about it makes the difference. I think that you have to talk about that there has to be a change for the people who are not changing yet.
Well, I think, I mean, that's the first step. So I think talking about it, and I think that's kind of, what we're doing here today as well. And I think it's already making a change. We have a couple people here getting involved. Dino says we'll have a face-to-face meeting sometime in the future, maybe in the south of Italy. Is this possible?
Dino's going to host. Dino was one of our earliest members, right? Was he?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember who. It's terrible. I can't remember who the fourth member was. Essentially, like the first member. Dino, if it was you, then shout out to you. It was close, maybe between Dino and Inigo, I want to say.
I think it was Inigo and then Dino, I would say.
Inigo, I got to say something too, just a sidebar about Inigo here. I love this guy. I met this guy at Euro last year. No, maybe was it Euro or is it ERC? Sorry, Inigo. But anyway, liked him a lot when I met him. And then when I got to hear his story, and he came on and he talked about how he was supporting the efforts in Ukraine and what he did personally. And I've just become a huge fan of him and his company and what he does. And I just love it. He says 100,000 GBP is doable. Just give Relocate the Profit a year or two. What needs to happen in order to get us to 100,000 GBP? Is that really the goal? Is that realistic?
I think the goal of the start was like, can we get to £500? I think when we started it. So it's like, I think the goal moves every time. I remember when we logged on once and saw that we got to like 840, and we were like going around the WhatsApp group going, oh my God, we're nearly be at £1,000 is incredible and stuff. So I think like it's not to take for granted what we've done, but I think like realistically, we've just gone into our first year of having like a proper membership, like where you've got 33 now companies every single month logging on, doing that donation. So I think there's nothing to say that we can't get to 100,000. I've got no intention of stopping talking about it. I know Hannah hasn't. I know Miriam hasn't. And the best thing is that the members that we have, Inigo is a perfect example for it, where the energy that the members have, not just to log on every month and pay their money and stuff like this, but to shout about it and to talk about it and to tell other people about it. And I think the quicker we can do that, the snowball will keep rolling. So like the sky's the limit for me. I'd love to have the problem of what are we going to do with £100,000. Like that's the dream for me.
What needs to happen, Hannah, do you think, in order to get to 100,000 pounds? I mean, is that the goal for you? Do you think it's, do you think that's 2 years away? Do you think it's sooner? I mean, I'm really curious. Have you thought this far through, or are you just kind of happy with what, kind of whatever comes in?
I think just last what you said, I did not think about that high numbers yet. So I'm more at still, oh wow, we made £4,500. I'm so proud of us. So that's such a great number. No, I would say let's go with the flow. Let's see what we will do at that point, and let's see what the members of the group by then will want to do with the money.
Louise says it's a year away, and I've been shopping with Louise. She is not playing around. Okay, I mean, Louise just makes a couple decisions about her jewelry, and then all of a sudden you're at $100,000 and a couple less rings, and all of a sudden you're there. Louise is saying 100 members per month donating $1 or €1 or £1 times 12 is 12,000. It makes a difference. That's just $1, euro, pound. If we make it 2, this will make a difference. Yeah, I mean, 100 members. And maybe that's the goal, right? Is to get up to 100 members, and everybody's doing a little bit. Yeah, I think it's really easy to get there. I would agree with Louise. She's saying it's a year away. I think that's true. And Nigo says, Ben, thanks for your kind words. Yeah, of course. I meant it, as well. And Jason's now here comes the peer pressure, right? I pressured Jason. Jason's pressuring Richard over here. Richard's saying, hey, I just went to a service apartments launch. Check out Love and Real. Yeah. Yeah, Richard. So now you're on and all your clients are on. And by the way, Richard now just signed 3 new clients this week. I keep seeing on LinkedIn how Richard's got all these clients. So, I think Richard's one that we have to get involved as well. Because I can bring movers. Richard has the service apartment crew. Jason Hall's out there dealing with the immigration firms. I know Louise has amazing immigration, connections as well. And I think it's very possible. I will say, and I'm going to just ask, I'm going to challenge here, because that's how I am. By making it anonymous, if you will, it seems like we would lose a little bit of the big contribution, and I know it's not about, you want to level the playing field for everybody, and everybody's, counts and everything. But somebody might want to stroke a check for 10,000 pounds, so they could say they stroked a check for 10,000 pounds, and that would make obviously a huge, be a huge contribution. Do you ever think that philosophy might change, or is there, what do you think about that?
It's an interesting question, and it's not as grand as that, but I guess we've been faced with it in the past on a smaller level, where it's a tricky thing to do, right? Because the culture thing is what kicked it off, and the theme of the whole thing was level playing field. No one gets any more credit than anyone else. The figure we publish is the total relocated profit, because you can find sometimes, it's not everywhere, but you can find sometimes that even within charity and social responsibility and stuff, it can become a competition in itself sometimes, where you've got, well, we did this and we did that, and your DSP, who maybe does 5-6 invoices a month, they're never going to get that stage to be like, oh, look what we did this great thing. Whereas I think with Relocate the Profit, we're like, look, we all get to be part of Relocate the Profit. It's only ever one number, so it's a hard thing, the conundrum, I suppose, for us is like, if someone comes and says, we want to give you 10,000 pounds, who am I to stop that money going to the charity? It's not, we never, like I said before, we don't touch the money. But I think the one thing I alluded to it earlier, where we have to keep the same themes and the same emotion in it that we had from 3 to 300. That I think at the moment it's a real conundrum. It's a hard thing to do, but I would never want to lose the spirit of what we started and why we started it. I guess that would be the main thing I'd say.
Yeah. And Miriam's saying, Miriam's of course chiming in. She's saying in ratio, everyone donates equally. Everyone donated $1 USD, euro, or GBP per invoice. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So as a recruitment firm, I may have, 50, 100 invoices a year. As a RMC may have, 20,000 invoices per year, right?
Yeah.
Because the other way to look at it too is as a percentage of revenue, right? Or as percentage of revenue, percentage of profit, right? It's like, it was 1% of profits or something like that. Mm-hmm. Everyone would know what that commitment was by joining. But anyway, not to get into it. It's beautiful. Whatever it is and whatever people choose to do is beautiful. And Miriam says millions. Miriam says it's not anonymous. Instead of not getting credit for the donation you make, we are all sharing the credit. Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it. Yeah, very cool. I'm looking forward to it. Any Louise Neal's calling in here. I just saw Louise. I'm sorry. I saw it. Louise is the only person that will call into the show, on purpose. Like my dad will call me. I'm like, Dad, I'm kind of doing a thing right now. But Louise will call in Louise, you can feel free to call me back here. She's probably gonna give me a piece of her mind. I love Louise. Shout out to Easy Tiger and the great people over there as well. Miriam says drop mic. Yeah. Let me ask you from a marketing standpoint, and I know it's not about the marketing, but I mean, y'all do get out there and, you know, you do publicize this. Do you think that client companies will ever start to, Louise is calling me. Do you think that client companies, hold on one second, Louise, I got one question. You know, all right, hold on. We have Louise on the phone. Louise doesn't wait for anybody. We have Louise on the phone. Hold on one second. Caller, we have Louise Neal on the line here. You're live here on Love and Relo. Louise, what can we do for you?
Well, I actually want to thank Ben, Hannah, and you actually, Ben and Miriam, because it is an incredible cause. And I can't even hear you, but
it's okay. We're here.
I tell you what. Oh yeah. So Ben has now, and I'm sure Hannah and Miriam are part of it, is going to do an event in London where we can raise more money for this this charity. So hopefully, fairly soon, Ben and Hannah and Miriam will advertise this incredible event in Mayfair. We hope to raise, have a fantastic summer party, and I think you should come along, Ben, and be part of it.
You had me at party, Louise.
Yeah, the word party, but it'll be amazing because I'll be happy to put up a big raffle prize, and I'll talk to Ben and Hannah and Miriam about it. But it is amazing. This charity, this Tanzanian lady who honestly, it brought tears to my eyes. So I absolutely love these guys. They're amazing. And they're selfless. They really are selfless people. They really want to put so much back into this amazing mobility, removals, even though we are still waiting for a removals company, Ben. So I'm sure use your network and help.
I will.
Guys.
I promise you we can get a dozen removals companies. We may not call them removals companies. We may have to call them moving companies, but we'll get them.
Oh, moving companies or shipping companies.
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll get them. I promise you that. Yeah. So tell me about this party, though. What's going on? Is this announced? Can we talk about this?
Well, not quite yet. Ben and Miriam and Hannah, honestly, Ben and I, when he's back, I think next week or something, we are going to do, well, I will be helping to support them. So whatever I can and do, but yeah, something's going to happen.
When do we think this is? Because I have to talk to the big boss lady. I got to get some things in order here. Get cleared to fly here. I think I'm on Interpol's list. I got to talk to some people here.
Thanks, Louise.
You'll be over, I'm sure. You can be out.
This is great.
Happy to host.
Well, put me down for the Fabergé auction, and I will put me down for that, Louise. Louise, we love you. Thank you so much for calling in. All right.
Ben. Thank you, guys. You're amazing. Good work.
Take care. Thanks. Oh, Louise, we love Louise. Gotta love Louise.
Do you see what I mean about the energy of our members?
Yes.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's how cool is that, Louise? Okay, calling you during the show, which I love, actually, by the way. Miriam, on the other hand, doing the background. So it's basically all about everyone. I mean, it's. I know that for Inigo and Dino, it's very late as well, but still they are here and still supporting. And I think that's so cool, and that's what I really love about it.
Wow. So now we're talking about potential events. What about associations? You know, we go to all these conferences and stuff, and some of them have charitable arms, you know, some of them have foundations, some of them pick a charity every year. Have you aligned yourself with an association? Do you see that happening? And how have you worked with some of the industry associations?
Mm-hmm. So that's something that we've been working on. So Miriam, Lana, and Ina did a brilliant presentation at FEM in Amsterdam, which was really cool. It's something that we've been knocking on the door of, I guess, since we started. I feel like now we're at the number of members that we're at. We're got something behind us. For sure at Euro next year, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but for sure at Euro next year, we've got to do something. You know, there were I think over half the members were at Euro this year. You know, the way that we're growing, that can double again, I think, by the time we get to next year. So I think I suppose it goes back to your question actually about what's the future. For us, we'd love to be involved in as many things like that as possible, you know, to have that platform, I suppose, to go to Euro, to go to FEM, to go to ERC, whatever it might be, to you know, do what we like doing best, and that's to talk about Relocate the Profit and shout about it as loud as we can. So yeah, for sure, that's in our future. It has to be.
What do you think about that, Hannah?
I love it. I absolutely love it. And we have been talking about to really officially found an association, like for Relocate the Profit to do everything officially. That is kind of hard because we're like mixed countries. In Germany, these kind of things are definitely not the easiest ones. We have too many rules. So we'll have to dig in that one. It is actually the best thing to shout out when you are at conferences of any kinds, I would say, to as I said earlier, to change something. And yes, we have been talking or eventually talking about some people at Jura, and we're planning something for this year already, which did not work out. But I'm pretty sure, as Ben said, that we will do something next year, or some kind of, or at least try to do something. And if we don't do something at Jura, like officially on stage, we will hopefully just have a meeting somewhere or do something nice as the group.
I know that right now you're encouraging people to donate, you know, a dollar or two per invoice. Do you see having parties and fundraisers and other revenue streams to drive charitable giving?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. I think it's sort of anything that we can do to drive money into the charity is great. I mean, the feeling was for, and shout out to Louise for promoting our event that has no date and no venue at the moment.
But we have an auction item. We have an item.
We have an auction item, so that's enough. Book your flights for like the whole of June and July, and we'll try and sit it in there. So I think, like, for sure, there's going to be other ways, especially now we're at the number we are, where we can raise that money. Like, we'd love to host an event where we can have members, prospective members can come and pay to come to the event. Every single penny of the profit of those events we'd like to give to the charity and stuff. So I think stuff like that, I guess we're at the stage now where we're starting to look at those sort of things. One, for the publicity of it. Two, to get more members. And three, to raise some money. So it's charity is money and awareness, right? That's we've learned that pretty quick. So yeah, anything that we can do like that, and like you say, everyone loves a party. So if we can throw a party into the mix, and Louise can provide some nice raffle prizes, then yeah, we're on to a good thing.
Well, I love the idea of a Relocate the Profit party at the maybe around the FEM conference or something where everybody's in town, one night. I mean, just give me a tuxedo, Louise Neal, and a glass of champagne, and I'm going to make some donations. Okay. Perfect. So, yeah, I'm all in on something like that. I would love something like that. I'd definitely be interested in doing that. And if you want to do something here in the States as well, we know some people around here, I think, that would like to get involved.
That'd be awesome. Any excuse to come to the States for me. So yeah.
Yeah, same for me with like London too. If I can get over to England or something like that, I'm in on it as well. Here, Louise says would love to, guys. Yeah. I'd like to get more involved. How do I get so obviously Glomo is in. We are going to make that commitment now, and we'll backdate it to the beginning of the year, and just kind of Jana kind of catch us up here on our donations, but. As far as like some of the planning and some of the things like that, in order to kind of leverage our influence, how can I get involved more, and how can Glomo get involved to maybe kind of provide some additional influence, planning, strategic partnership, presence here in the States? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, it's like we said, we've learned on the job. We had no idea what we were doing, to be completely honest. So every single member that we've had, we listened to. The website wouldn't have been made without other members saying, let's do this. Patty said, why is there not a donation button on the website? Yeah, good question. Let's put the donation button on the website. So for us, it's like, and you'll see, if you come to a meeting and stuff, and as you learn a bit more about it, anywhere where a member thinks they can add value, and like, what, my skill set is this, I can do this, I can spread the word or whatever, then the better it can be. I mean, spot on, Miriam. The dream was to break America like the Beatles.
Listen, we got rid of y'all. Okay, don't come back over and try to invade. Okay, we already got rid of y'all. All right.
We just want to come over, take a little bit of your profit, and then we'll go back.
Sounds eerily familiar, actually. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, all jokes aside there. Yeah, no, so we're definitely in. John and I love throwing a good party for a good cause. And Miriam, yes, you're right. We the other ones, International Association of Movers, right? They're going to have 1,800 people at their convention in Toronto from 120 different countries, and I mean, that'd be a great way to kick off the removal space, is to be there and probably sign up 50 or 100 different companies that way. I think we can really make some big inroads here. I really do.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think it's, as Ben said, Ben Jones. How am I going to tell you? Like, anyway, I'm confused.
Jones and Cross, the law firm solicitors.
Jonesy?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
Jonesy. That will make me laugh the rest of the night. Sorry, Jonesy. Then, so as he said, I think that now I've just completely forgot my topic.
It's okay. This is a really good segue into overrated, underrated. Okay, here let's hop into it, because we're running out of time here a little bit here. All right, and I want to get to some of this. I want to get to some of this fun stuff here as well. Here, so let's get into a little overrated, underrated. Okay. Y'all want to play a little game?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hannah, don't sound so sad. All right, you ready for this? Here we go. All right, let's see here. All right, underrated, overrated. Do you know how to play the game?
I'm gonna guess I do, but that might be wrong. I'm gonna guess you're gonna shout something out, and I get to shout out underrated or overrated.
Yes, and Hannah also gets to play,
Okay.
and then I get to tell you if you're right or wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very fair. It's very fair. Okay. Transparency in the business sector, overrated or underrated? Hannah, you first.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Defend your answer.
I go first, or you go first?
Just whoever. It's very not important. Go ahead.
I'll go. So just from the 33 members that we have, the transparency that we've seen over the last 12 months has been super inspiring. And I think, like, going back to the culture thing, right? It's like that thing where people say restored their faith in humanity. And I think the transparency that we've seen within our group has been super inspiring from every corner of the globe.
I'm going to challenge, though.
Okay.
There's no transparency about the amount that's donated. A lack of transparency allows for more equity in the process.
I can answer you for that. If you want to donate more, and if you want to have the shout out, then you can, of course, at all times go directly to the Tanzanian Trust Fund page and donate directly.
Stroke a big check to the Tanzanians. Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it. You are correct. All right, one answer. Yes, you're correct. Being honest, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Blow me away with this one. Underrated?
I could be super controversial.
Yeah, be controversial, Ben.
Yeah, overrated. Let's lie to everyone. No, it's underrated. Of course, it's underrated.
You guys really went out on a limb here with these. Sharing ideas with competitors. How about this one? Ben.
So for me, it's underrated, but it's a divider, and there'll be a lot of people that say it isn't, but I don't mind it.
Hannah?
I'm actually same opinion. Ben and I are just too close for these.
You guys are too aligned here. You know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? The next one, you're gonna have to take opposite sides here. Okay.
If I know what it is, we will.
Peanut butter and jelly, overrated or underrated? Hannah?
It's definitely underrated.
Underrated. Ben?
Overrated.
Why, Ben? What is wrong with you?
Don't put them together. I love them individually. Let's have 2 slices of toast, 1 jam, 1 peanut butter, and just enjoy them as their individual selves.
Just no. It's you can't swallow it. There is no way. You have to, with peanut butter, you have to put jelly on it that you can swallow it. The taste of everything together. And the best thing is if you put it together and just quickly put it into a pan and heat it up.
Let me ask you this, Ben. Does it matter what kind of jelly? Are you just no jelly? Could it be an orange marmalade? by chance?
Oh, I do like a marmalade, Ben. Yeah, yeah. Give me a slice of granary toast, about half an inch of butter, and then a ton of marmalade, and I am away.
And a dollop of peanut butter right on top.
Nowhere near, on a separate plate for sure. Not anywhere near my marmalade, please.
What if we have the scoop of peanut butter and then we chug the marmalade to wash it down? Can we do that, like Paddington Bear style or something? Can we do
I don't
that?
wanna, but
I don't want to, but I'll do it. He says, but I'll do it.
I'm a sucker for peer pressure still.
Oh my gosh, this is great. This is a lot of fun here. Well, I guess we're not going to be having dinner together, but that's okay. We can still come together to support the Tanzanians here. Let's see. Cultural training, Hannah, underrated or overrated?
Underrated, definitely.
Well, Ben, that means you have to take overrated.
No, yeah. all my cultural trainers and Patty, my cultural coach member. Yeah, we overrated. No, of course it's underrated.
Fortunately, Ben, they're a very inclusive bunch. If there's a bunch of people you want to, piss off, the cultural trainers are typically some of the nicest to do it too. So,
sure.
You'll probably survive.
There's probably more PB&J fans that'll attack me than cultural coaches, right?
Oh, they'll force feed you peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. This has been a lot of fun. Honestly, all kidding aside, this has been a lot of fun. And I absolutely love, Hannah, Ben, what you're doing. Miriam, shout out. Louise, Inigo, Adino, everybody out there who's participating. Jason, thank you for getting involved and pledging that. Shauna, thanks for making it happen on behalf of Glomo. Richard, you're on the tube, but you're signed up, buddy. I just think there's so much here, and I know how hard it is to start something new, and how in the beginning nobody knows if it's going to work. You don't know if it's going to work, but you do it anyway. And especially if it's something controversial, like working with competitors on a project, it's not always the most intuitive play, but you believed in it in your hearts and you did it. And I'm just so happy that you did. And I really applaud the effort.
Thanks, Ben. It's been awesome. Like I said it the other day, I've been at work for 21 years. And this is for sure like the thing I've done that I'm like the proudest of doing. Because like I've been in sales my whole life, which can be quite like a tunnel vision, selfish existence, right? But this is the thing where I'm like, I love this. I absolutely love this. So it's been awesome. And thanks for being number 32.
Yeah, happy to do it. Happy to do it. Hannah, do you want to leave us maybe with a final thought?
Final thought. That's a good one. I think just try to do something better. And if it's not going with us, which of course I would love to, but just try to find something where you can do better. Kind of where you challenge yourself, where you get inspired through hearing Love and Relo, for example, and find a cause which will bring you that feeling Ben just described.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, you're setting a great example here for everybody here. I mean, with the exception of obviously the bickering at the end. But no, really, really wonderful example of great professionals in our space who are doing things. This is great here. And Dino's loving the decor. Yeah, we know Dino. It's awesome. Goes without saying. This is great. And Miriam wants to become presidents who share the money. Very interesting political party. This is great. Thank you so much, Hannah Zentgraf. Thank you so much, Ben Jones. Thanks for everyone out here who watched. Thanks for everyone who got involved with Relocate the Profit. We're in. I hope you're in too. I hope you consider joining. It's not a huge commitment, but if we all do a little bit, we can make a big difference. So I look forward to seeing you all out there at the next conference, at the next meeting, possibly in Southern Italy. Maybe it's in Louise's garden. Who knows where it's going to be, but it's going to be amazing when we get together next. And thanks everyone out there for taking a look at this amazing cause.
Thank you.
Take care, y'all. We will see you.